China is insisting that the world needs peace and prosperity and not a mid-range missile system, following Philippine Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr.'s statement that the Philippines has a right to allow the deployment of such weapons in the country despite China's continuous opposition to it. Teodoro previously said that the government's plans on military enhancement are part of the country's comprehensive archipelagic defense concept on the basis of the country's own national interest and in accordance with its independent foreign policy. Teodoro then demanded the Chinese Communist Party to reduce tensions and instability in the region by ceasing its saber-rattling, stopping its provocative actions, halting its interference in other countries' internal affairs, and withdrawing its illegal presence from the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. In response, a Chinese embassy spokesperson in a statement on Wednesday, December 25, brands Teodoro's remarks as baseless and malicious. The spokesperson says China firmly opposes and strongly condemns such statement, which is nothing but an unjust accusation filled with ideological bias and based on bloc confrontation and the Cold War mentality. The spokesperson adds that the world is in need of peace and prosperity and not a mid-range capability missile system or confrontation. The spokesperson then claims that Teodoro's remarks ran counter to President Bongbong Marcos's instruction to reduce the escalation of maritime tensions through dialogue. According to the spokesperson, Teodoro's views contradict both countries' relentless diplomatic efforts to manage their differences through communication and consultation. The spokesperson then calls on the Philippines to heed China's call to have the Typhoon missile system promptly pulled out and stop going further down the wrong path. The Typhoon missile arrived in the Philippines from the United States on April 11 and was first used during the two countries' bilateral war games. The deployment of such a weapon comes amid mounting maritime tensions in the West Philippine Sea. China's continued aggression in Philippine waters is born out of a sweeping claim over most of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea. Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri is hoping that the contentious provisions in the 2025 National Budget Bill will be addressed before it gets signed by President Bongbong Marcos. In a message to reporters on Wednesday, December 25, Zubiri says concerns that must be addressed in the 2025 national budget include the reduced funding of the Department of Education's computerization program and the zero subsidy funding for Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. According to Zubiri, addressing these issues will help delay possible legal action in the Supreme Court, which might render a decision declaring the budget unconstitutional. Marcos is set to sign into law on December 30 the 2025 General Appropriations Act containing the proposed 6.3 trillion peso national budget. The signing of the General Appropriations Act was initially scheduled for December 20, but this action was deferred since the measure was still being assessed by the President. According to Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, certain items and provisions of the national budget bill will be vetoed in the interest of public welfare. Though Bersamin did not detail which provision will be vetoed, Marcos previously explained that the proposed cut from the DepEd's computerization program was contrary to the policy direction of his administration on education. Marcos has committed to restore the 10 billion peso budget that was slashed from the proposed funding of the DepEd. The Department of Health reports that the number of recorded firework-related injuries has climbed to 43 on Christmas Day. In a statement on Wednesday, December 25, the DOH says the injuries were recorded from December 22 until 6 a.m. on December 25. The current total of 43 injuries is significantly higher than the 28 reported during the same period in 2023 and the 18 cases recorded in 2022. Of the 43 injuries recorded, 39 are male, while 4 are female. 37 of the cases were caused by illegal fireworks, particularly boga. According to the DOH, majority of the injuries were sustained by individuals aged 19 or younger. The DOH also reiterates that the sale of firecrackers or fireworks to minors is illegal. Headline inflation will likely settle at 2.6% this month, well within the government's 2 to 4% target range due to lower rice prices. In a message to Philippine News Agency on Wednesday, December 25, Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation Chief Economist Michael Ricafort says inflation could remain relatively benign and still well within the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas' inflation target of 2 to 4%. This is largely due to lower rice prices, which account for 9% of the consumer price index basket due to a lower tariff on imported rice. Headline inflation settled at 2.5% in November. Rice has been a significant driver of inflation since September 2023. To reduce rice prices, President Bongbong Marcos signed and issued on June 20 Executive Order No. 62 Series of 2024 on the Comprehensive Tariff Program 2024-2028. Implemented in July, the executive order includes reducing the tariff on imported rice from 35% to 15%, which contributed to some moderation in retail rice prices in the local market. December 2024 inflation data will be released by the Philippine Statistics Authority in the first week of January.